Play ball forecast here. Getting the word out on the heat wave day 6, 95 this afternoon. Heat index around 100. Rain chance at about a 20% chance. Same deal basically as yesterday. And a week from now, things should be feeling a lot better. And that is good news. Next Thursday, my birthday, Play America free concert. Yeah, we're celebrating my birthday, but of course, we're celebrating the United States of America's birthday. So Play America, right after the play ball forecast, should be feeling better, looking dry next July 3rd. And this is going to be the Louisville Orchestra. Conductor Teddy Abrams will be out there at the Justica Cultural Center, Play America in Jeffersonville. That is America Place at River Ridge. And actually, before we get to the forecast, I think I've got a little video that I can show you about this. So let me go to right here and go and remove that and take a look at this. So there you go. There's some drone footage over the event last year. As it was the beginning, there's food trucks out there, like face painting, all kinds of treats and good times for the kids, where you can go and hang out there. And of course, listen to the amazing tunes from those genius musicians that are out there. And of course, Teddy as well. So big event coming up. That is July 3rd. July 4th, I believe we're in the Jeffersonville Parade out there. So that would be Friday morning. The city of Austin, Indiana has fireworks Friday night. So just a lot of fun activities going on if you want to partake in that. All right, let's get back to it. Quick bird nerd segment, because they were loud this morning. Just for a few minutes, I was out on the back deck and I heard the Carolina wren, the red-eyed vireo, the tufted titmouse, the house finch, the American robin, the summer tanager, beautiful red bird, Baltimore oriole, which we don't see very often, eastern wood pewee, I've gotten to know its sound, and white-breasted nuthatch, brown-headed cowbird. They steal other birds' eggs in their nests, but they will raise other birds, I believe. The great crested flycatcher. And the eastern wood pewee kind of sounds like pewee. All right, I'm not good at the bird. That's our bird nerd segment. And a shout out to my mom. She sent me this morning. This is her hibiscus and the beautiful sunrise on her back deck. This was the last one at Grantline Nursery, my 98-year-old grandma says. And it was really small when they got it. And now look at it now. Good growing season out there. And I know they're watching. So I wanted to show off that beautiful nature, our nature segment this morning. Now, this is an overshooting top that I was talking about from Chase Stanfill. He's got a huge following, by the way. With the basically about their life, not off the grid necessarily. I'm blanking on the term where you live out on the farm, homesteading. So Chase Stanfill, I believe they're out in Pekin, but he sent me this picture to Indiana skies. And so what I want to show you here is, again, the cumulus cloud is a thermal of air rising. If it gets enough momentum, it can bust past the cap. That's the high pressure that we have over us, that sinking air. It is stable air. And usually it limits the storms from firing up. That's why we've been mostly dry. But occasionally you can get a cap buster that busts through it. And then it can keep growing a little bit. And you don't see it all that often. But notice that there's a flat layer right there. That would be the cap. And notice that skinny updraft. That's the air going up, like it looks like a popcorn. And then overshooting top up top that I've circled there. And so that might be, you might see those sometimes 30, 40, 50, 60 miles away off in the distance. But if you're caught under that, that would be a pretty heavy rainmaker right there. So pretty cool shot. Thanks to Chase for sending that in. UV index, very high level of 10 for today. So not only a scorcher, but getting blasted by the UV rays. So protect yourself from that. Again, that forecast today at 95, heat index around 100. You know, if we don't get a storm or any clouds over downtown Louisville or by the airport where the official observation is taken, certainly possible in the heat island areas around the concrete that we could top out near 97 once again. Big Happy showing up, not coffee, water. 20% chance of that pop-up shower, sunset 9:10, and just a light southwest wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, very warm, 77. You know, maybe some outlying valley locations could dip a little bit cooler than that, low to mid 70s, and then probably around 80 in the city. A little bit of a range depending on your location, but tropical air. The Indiana tropics, Kentucky tropics is what we are in. Just as tropical as Florida. So who needs to go on a vacation? You can just step outside, pretend you're on the beach, play some beach tunes, and just, pretend. 80 degrees out the door tomorrow morning. Here's your Friday, June 27th, our last Friday of June. 91 at noon tomorrow, and 95, feeling like 100, 30% chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Normal high is now up to 88 degrees. Normal low temperature at 70 degrees. Our sun up at 6:21, our sunset at 9:10. And we're looking at around 90 for Saturday. I've gone a little bit cooler Saturday because I think we're going to have more of those pop-up hit or miss showers and thunderstorms. Not a washout, but more around the area. And so going a 60% chance Saturday. So keep that in mind. If you have some weekend plans, have that alternate plan to head inside if you get caught with some of that rain, some of that thunder. When the thunder roars, head indoors. 92 degrees on Sunday and mostly dry. And then Monday, that rain chance looks like mostly Monday night, early Tuesday as a front moves through the area. Should drop us down to the upper 80s, mid to upper 80s, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Slightly cooler nights as well, which means slightly drier air. So while it will not be cool, I wouldn't call it a cool down, it will be more comfortable and not as oppressive with the heat and humidity that we've had across the area here lately. So there is that 7-day forecast, and we're coming up to 10:20, which is usually when we dig into the weather model data and the weather models. So looking at some of the comments here that have been popping in, Alice Young says, everyone stay cool. Anita in Gatlinburg. How is Gatlinburg? A little cooler than here, I assume. Josh Hunt says, I work at a grocery store. I push the buggies. It is hard sometimes. I did that at Lowe's. I worked at Lowe's, and you develop a skill in getting all the carts out and pushing them and being out there. I remember there were times I would do a double shift at Lowe's before sunup, and I would watch the sun go across the sky all day long. And then finally, after sunset, knowing I was a loader. So I think it was a code 50 at Lowe's. You hear code 50, you're going to load something heavy usually, whether it's bricks or lumber or whatever. It was a good workout, my time at Lowe's. Then I graduated from the loader and became the tool guy. So I was tool man Ben at Lowe's for a while before becoming a server at Red Lobster. And before all that, I was at Subway since age 14. Been working for the corporations out there. And Baines, keep your pets hydrated too. Yeah, their bowls are full. Keep them in that AC as well. Lily and Lasley saying beautiful flowers. We got a good morning from Mike Sievert. Thanks for tuning in to Ben at 10 this morning. And we've got Ann saying buy a wading pool and a big bag of sand, add water, and you got a beach. And just pretend. And just, you probably play a little playlist of just beach sounds and just lay back and just pretend. There you go. What is that email address for you? Here you go. I'm going to bring that back up for everyone to see real quick. Boom, right there. So yeah, if you got a family or friend or you got a business, you want to partner up, or just email me a weather question, ben@extolmag.com. So ben@extolmag.com, ben@extolmag.com. There you go, Mike Siebert. Make sure to check in on that. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that, bring up this, and we're going to take a look at the weather models now. So again, there is the radar and satellite, which, got something a little bit interesting. There's a little area of low pressure kind of sneaking under the upper level ridge down to our south. That's creating some showers and storms down over central Tennessee, down towards Nashville. And the interesting part of this, to me, was this outflow boundary. So take a look there. That's that rain-cooled air rushing out of the showers and thunderstorms. Sometimes that can kick up a shower or thunderstorm. That's my drawing of a thunderstorm. So maybe that will happen over parts of southern Kentucky a little bit later this afternoon. So that is the outflow boundary down to our south. Otherwise, it is a clear sky and the ring of fire showers around this upper level ridge, high pressure that blocks out rain chances. So here's the ring of fire, and that is where showers and thunderstorms continue off to our northwest. Now, as this ridge breaks down a little bit, we're going to see Saturday an increasing chance of some showers and thunderstorms. That lid is not as strong to suppress the development of the showers and thunderstorms later on Saturday. And we'll see that pop up on the weather model maps as well here in just a second. Real quick, trying to give you a little bit of hope for the end of the heat wave is the Climate Prediction Center's outlook, the temperature outlook here. So this is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, and check that out. We're right on the line of right at or slightly below normal temperatures for much of next week. The heat actually going out to the northwest and the southeast. So it looks like a reprieve in the heat wave next week. That's for the Climate Prediction Center. We're going to see that with the weather models as well here in just a moment. 8 to 14 day outlook shows normal temperature. So July weather pattern change brings us back to normal, maybe a little below normal from time to time as well. This is the precipitation outlook. Looks like wettest actually over the southwest, over the desert, and kind of normal chances of precipitation for us. But I do think we'll have, as the high pressure breaks down, some increasing chances of showers and thunderstorms through mid-July, which would not be a bad thing for the farmers out there. Cheers with Big Happy this morning. Getting that pre-hydration on. And Karen says, normal temperatures, please. Normal is still hot this time of the year. Average highs, upper 80s, near 90 degrees, but a lot better, especially if we can get a little bit lower humidity in returning to the area. Speaking of which, I built this scene yesterday, if you're watching. So this is, no, I don't want the GFS. But there you can see where the dry air is and where the wet air is. So west of Denver, all dry. East of Denver, all wet. So that is the dew point map. But here is the actual dew points currently. What a stark difference. That dry line there over Colorado and into Wyoming and out west, there's a dew point of 10 near Las Vegas. That is just desert era. But us, what are we doing here? We've got lower to mid 70s, upper 70s. That is insane. 77 dew point popping in at Elizabethtown. All right. And look at these dew points. Okay. Off the charts. So dew point measure of water content in the air, basically a measure of the humidity. And look at down south over the Gulf Coast and Florida. We've got higher dew points than Florida. Kind of insane. So who needs to go to the beach when you've got that ocean-like air right on top of us now? And look at that muggy stuff. And notice too that, you know, that ring of fire right here, that's where the showers are, right on the edge of the heat wave. And again, eventually when that ridge breaks down, we're going to see increasing chances of some rain. And what we want, I think we all want it, check the dew points out farther north, up in Canada. Will we be able to get 50s, at least 60 dew points by next Wednesday, Thursday? That would be refreshing. That's what we're going to try to get. As the heat wave breaks down, some of that drier air dropping in from the northern Great Lakes and Canada should bring a little bit of a reprieve from the heat wave. All right, so speaking of which, we'll go back to the dew point with the GFS and go to, so we're talking next Tuesday and Wednesday, that front moves through. So Tuesday is July the 1st. We'll go July 1st afternoon. So there it is. This has been consistent over the last several days with the timing. So here's the front. Notice that change from green to blue. And of course, you got all that desert dry air out that way. So with this, there you go. Look at these dew points. And then you still have the tropical air down south. So that would be the change on the way. So that's Tuesday, front moving in and bringing us at least to Indiana. Kentucky might still be stuck in the soupy, sultry, swampy, sweaty weather. I think that's all I got. All right.